What is up, Reds? Welcome to the match preview. The Premier League season's about to kick off. It's Fulham, it's Liverpool, it's Craven Cottage. It's everything we've been waiting for. Guys, I'm excited. I'm ready for this build-up. We got a very special guest, Craig Houlden of Anfield Agenda. Craig, welcome. And of course, Steve, the legend himself. What's up, guys? How we doing?
Lovely. Happy to be back into the beginning of the season, for sure. It's crazy. We played so many matches and made it to the end of every competition last year. I feel like we've had really no break. But when you think about it, it's been a couple months. So I'm excited.
Well, honestly, I needed a couple of months. Things got a little exhausting there at the end, if I do say so myself. But sometimes it's good to have a little bit of time off. Craig, how about you, man?
I'm delighted to be back chatting with my friends from America. It's been too long. I apologize. It's been so long since I've been on, but like you guys, just really excited for the season to get underway.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, really, preseason this season really felt like we were scouting our own team, right? We had a lot of changes. Klopp's trying to out a lot of new stuff. We wanted to see what we had in the squad, and we'll kind of get into it as well. We kind of took our opponents this Saturday. We kind of took away some of their firepower this season, but we'll get into that. But real quick, let's just touch on the Community Shield. That was, in my opinion, it's a big start to the season, right? Everyone knows the phrase that if you win it, it's a big deal. It's a trophy. If you lose it, it's not that big a deal. It means nothing. It's 100% true, because if we lost, I wouldn't care. But we won it. Steve, you've always been a component of the Community Shield, bro. Let's just touch on that real quick. And, Craig, we'll get your thoughts first, bro.
I definitely adhere to what you said there about it not being a big deal. If you win it, it becomes more important. Yeah, I still don't count it as a trophy, but what I will say is I did think it was a nice psychological blow to land on Manchester City, because in all honesty, I did not expect Pep to go as strong as he did. So when I seen their starting lineup and then I seen our level of performance, I just thought, wow, we're going to be underestimated by people again this season, and underestimate us at your peril, because we're ready. And I was very impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though Darwin Nunez got that criticism, Darwin Nunez came out when it mattered, and he turned up. And also, I was very impressed with Salah. I was very impressed with just how we attacked the game. We looked in much better shape than Man City, and we ultimately, like you said, a morale boost, and it had to be a City, didn't it? I mean, that's perfect to get one over on them early. I think, Steve, you mentioned that as well earlier. And Steve, share us, your thoughts about it. What do you think that will have effect-wise on the team going into the season?
Yeah, it's obviously a big boost. And Craig, I agree. I think if it was any other side other than Liverpool that City were matched up against, I think Pep might roll out a different squad for sure. But it just goes to show you how deeply rooted this rivalry is. And the Community Shield, I love the Community Shield personally. I never want to lose any match, of course. You lose a preseason match, that's fine. But if we lose the Community Shield, I act like I don't care, but I do kind of care, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. It's not.
But what is it? Why?
Because it's the first. First of all, it starts the season, essentially.
Okay.
And it's the first thing you can really win. Yeah, it's not going to be something you're super proud of in the trophy cabinet, but especially against City, it makes it a little bit sweeter to win it. And that, coupled with the fact that we've lost the last couple, it was important for us to win, in my opinion. But I think we will be underestimated again, like Craig said, for whatever reason, because for the life of me, I can't understand why. But that was definitely nice to get a one-up on City before the season.
Can I throw in a quick suggestion? Sorry for cutting across. I thought of this the other day when I was looking at the French Super Cup, the Italian Super Cup, the German Super Cup. It's the name that does the damage to the Community Shield or the Charity Shield. It just doesn't do any favors as a selling point. If they change to the Super Cup and still did the charity thing, which is the best aspect of it all, obviously, I think it would garner more interest.
I could see it.
No, certainly. That's a good point. I never even thought of that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the name's just corny.
It's just branding. Yeah, they got to build it up. You know what I mean? Like the FIFA Club World Cup. Like, we care about it if you're in it, but no one else really cares about it. You know what I mean? Right. But the name itself is pretty sick. So, yeah, I mean, guys, it's just a good start to the season. You love to get one up. Doesn't matter if it was against City or, Crystal Palace. I honestly think that's a good start to the season. Get some silverware. Darwin Nunez, I love how much passion he showed after it. And, you know, rival fans kind of say, like, you act like you've been here before. It's Community Shield, doesn't matter. I want to see that kind of passion from our newly signed striker. So let's get into this, man. I hope this match against Fulham is exciting. But look, Fulham had a great year last year. Okay. Now, granted, you know, they did have Nico Williams on loan. Okay. A lot of their goal scorers, Mitrovic, obviously. I mean, we'll talk about him. Harry Wilson and Carvalho. This is kind of what I was touching on at the beginning of the show with Carvalho. We got him. So we took one of their biggest goal scorers away. And Harry Wilson, I believe, is injured for this match. So really, it's kind of Mitrovic up there, right? Are you guys, you know, you can obviously, we'll start off with Steve, but you guys can kind of just give me your thoughts here. If anything, are you worried about Fulham? Are you worried about going away to Craven Cottage? You know, maybe they have a little bit of momentum. I think they got that new main stand. They just got promoted, right? It's not beyond Fulham to come up and go right back down. But I mean, who knows? What do you think? I mean, I think they just signed Bert Leno. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah. Look, they got stronger for sure. I think this should be a victory. This should be 3 points. But if I'm a Fulham fan right now, I'm excited. I think this season looks promising for them. And you could say the same thing when they came up a couple of years ago. Of course, made a bunch of signings. Nothing really happened. I'm not worried about the match. The fact that it is away could mean something. I think the last season they were in the Premier League, we lost to them 1-0, one match, and then drew the other match, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So they're definitely capable of hanging, but I'm not necessarily worried about this match. I'm excited for it, but this should be a victory in my opinion.
Yeah. And Craig, what about you? What are you thinking?
Always nervous when you play away to a newly promoted team on the opening day. We've seen what Brentford did to Arsenal previously. The signings that they've made in Polina and Andres Pereira are interesting. It'll be fun to see how they get on. I don't really think Mitrovic is a Premier League striker. Yes, he did smash the goal scoring record in the Championship that was set by Ivan Toney, and before that, I think it lasted quite a while. But ultimately, I think they're going to go back down. I think they are just a yo-yo club, and I have a lot of time for Fulham, a very historic club. I love the fact it's still a Craven Cottage. I just can't see how we don't win, though. I know that sounds arrogant. I don't mean it to, but any metric you want to use, we should be winning the game.
Yeah, and I echo that sentiment. I think Mitrovic, you know, we kind of saw it last time he was up in the Premier League, and I sent another invite to Steve. Hopefully he can come back. He ended up freezing on us, but he's kind of like a in-betweener. Like he's kind of in between the Premier League and in between the Championship, dominates the Championship, doesn't quite get it in the Premier League. A lot of people forget he's only 27. He might be just entering the prime of his career. You know what I mean? Like Mitrovic is a powerful striker. We shouldn't have any issues with Fulham though. Steve, welcome back. What's up?
I never left, as far as I'm concerned.
You froze on us, and now it's a beautiful feed. I love it. Yeah, and
StreamYard. What can you say?
What? Don't even get me started on StreamYard. Don't even get me started. Hey, it's all good. Look, Fulham, and I think this might be one of the first times in the last few promotions where they didn't just outright win the league. I think they were promoted with a playoff. And so not that really has any bearing, but like they led the league in scoring by like 32 goals or something. They just absolutely dominated the Championship last year. And that's likely down to Mitrovic's amazing performance. Craig mentioned that he broke Ivan Toney's scoring record. But this brings me back to what I was talking about. They don't have Harry Wilson, and we took Carvalho. And we really shouldn't have any issues with them with covering their offensive attack, Steve. Right? It should be, in theory, a thrashing. Am I wrong?
No, I think the only thing that kind of goes against that is the fact that it is away. It is the first game of the year. I mean, granted, we've seen a lot of success on, match day one the last few years. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think it could be a thrashing.
This is what I'm thinking
about.
I
don't think they can score.
We played Norwich 2 years out of the last three, and then Leeds on opening day, I'm pretty sure. And Norwich was never really a problem, but the Leeds match, right? Leeds historic, very similar to Fulham. They kind of came at us a little bit, and we expected that to be a thrashing as well.
Was it 4-3?
It was 4-3. They ended up Jack Harrison. We were a little worried some. I think that was down to our defense a little bit in that particular match. Did you see anything in preseason, Craig, that would worry you and think that we would be vulnerable or open at the back?
Nope. If I'm being really honest with you, if I'm being really honest with you, I think defensively we're probably in the best time I can remember as a Liverpool fan. Like
Oh, yeah.
4 great centre backs, 2 great left backs, 1 world class right back with 1 really young talent brought in who we haven't got to see yet from Aberdeen and Calvin Ramsey.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's good times ahead.
Real quick, I need to get your thoughts on Mabaya. What did you think of him? Let's split it up into offensively and defensively because there's a drastic difference.
Yeah, you can't defend.
Yeah,
not from what I've seen. Like three games, 3 balls inside his own penalty area. He was either caught in possession with or gifted to an opposition player, which is understandable because the step up in underage football to senior football, you don't get as much time. So if you want to make these mistakes, it's best to make them in pre-season like that. Going forward, certainly a lot more to work with, but still erratic for me in his decision making. But then again, we are speaking about a young guy here, and he shouldn't be the finished product. But hand on heart, I don't see anything there that I think he's going to make it at Liverpool.
You know, I just wanted to get your thoughts because this might just be me. Everyone's different. If I had to pick one player young guy that I was watching in preseason and I was like, he's actually doing some good stuff. It was him. Going forward mainly, not defensively. Going forward, he's got speed, explosiveness, and he was getting balls into the box. I mean, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. But look,
would you not have said Bajcetic was the standout younger player in preseason?
Him as well. Steve, what about you?
I think, he can't defend. We're gonna. If I'm being blunt,
okay.
I got nothing to add there. I think
I needed to get some thoughts on that real quick. All right. Let's look at the lineup predictions here for Fulham and Liverpool, right? We had a lot of different lineups in preseason, a lot of different chemistries, 2 different play styles that Klopp is trying to work with here. We play much more direct with Darwin Nunez playing up front. And of course, we play the standard style of football with Bobby Firmino up front, dropping deep, fullbacks creating. What do you think he goes with on opening day, though? That's the question. If you asked me before the Community Shield, I would have told you Bobby. No question. And I think that's why he went with Bobby in the Community Shield. But I don't know. Based on that second half performance, I mean, once Darwin came in, is there a question of who starts, Steve, in the front?
I don't think so. If I'm a betting man, I think it's Bobby starting. I think you go tried and true first match of the season. I'm very, very interested and curious to see what you guys think. The fact that Jota's injured makes this prediction a hell of a lot easier. Imagine if we had Jota in the mix and we were trying to predict the attackers to start. It'd be impossible.
Yeah.
But I think Bobby starts. And I think you'll see Nunez in the second half, just like we saw.
Okay. All right. So who's your 11? Who's your 11? Who's he going with?
Standard back 4, but I got Matip.
Okay.
Because Konate has a knock, I believe. But I would have chosen Matip either way. I think he's the premier. I think we'll see similar to what we saw.
He's the Premier League guy. Right.
He appeared to be, but towards the end of the year, Konate was the guy, what felt like every match last season. But Matip was probably the second best center back in the league for most of the year last season, in my opinion. Midfield, I think you're just gonna go tried and true all around. I think you're gonna go Thiago, Fabinho, Henderson, and then I think we'll see Diaz, Bobby, Salah up top.
Diaz, Bobby, Salah up top, and then Allison. I'm pretty sure he's going to be back as well.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah. Craig, what are you going with?
Exactly the same as Steve. Exactly. I did my prediction video earlier on. Rationale for not starting Bobby is, I think, exactly as Steve said. First game of the season, Jurgen Klopp has a history of not just throwing players in there straight in. Diaz was probably, a difference because he just hit the ground running and he was unbelievable when he came in. But I think it's the right decision, and I think what we've seen in the Community Shield was probably Klopp's thinking for the start of the season.
Okay, I'm going to have to agree. I was hoping someone would say Nunez, but honestly, we know Klopp. There's been very few players, even Jota. When Jota came, he came in firing, and he still wasn't really starting at first. But Luis Diaz hit the ground running. Same exact lineup, guys. You gotta get a good, solid performance in with the main guys. First game of the season, you don't want to risk anything. And it's not a trust thing. I just think Klopp has a way of doing things. Now, Craig, did you notice the difference in play though when Darwin Nunez came in? And did you like it? Do you like what Klopp is trying to do? That he's not saying to his players, which has been the criticism of a lot of rival fans and just pundits all over the world, that Darwin Nunez isn't a Klopp style player. At least that's what they've been saying. But it seems like it's the reverse. Klopp is adapting his style as he matures with the squad. What did you notice during the preseason?
There was a really interesting interview with Jurgen Klopp where he spoke about the difference that Darwin will make to how teams will have to set up to defend against us, because they're not just dealing with somebody who can drop and play a bit deeper like Bobby and Linko play. You're not just dealing with a target man who can hold the ball up. You're dealing with a forward who's very capable of running into the channels and stretching defenses and creating space for other Liverpool players to move into. So everything that I've seen from Darwin, even when he was getting a bit of a grief from people over the 59 minutes without a goal, I've seen enough in those games to show that he has the hunger, the desire, the movement, the intelligence, that once his teammates got on the same wavelength, he's going to take some stopping.
Yeah, Steve.
His positioning is incredible. He's always in the right spot. His finishing was off those first couple matches. But we spoke about this in the Sunday summary last week. He got his head on 3 or 4 balls in that second half of the Community Shield.
Yeah.
Like he's always in the right spot. His work rate's great. Of course, he's different than Bobby, but so is Jota. And so was Mane when he played up top last year. So it's I don't think it's anything too different. I think his body, his size, his frame is different than what we're used to seeing. But I don't think you're going to see a team that plays completely different when he's on the pitch. I just think it's an added element that we have.
Yes. He, contrary to Bobby dropping deep, Salah getting in behind, Luis Diaz getting in behind or out wide and then cutting back in, he drags defenders away from other key players. He drags defenders with him when he makes his runs, taking a player away from Salah, taking a player away from Diaz. I honestly think we're going to see one of the most prolific attacking squads that we've ever seen, and that's difficult to do considering what we've had up front under Klopp. It is going to be a problem, and teams are going to have to deal with it. And when we go up against these sides like Fulham, dude, I don't know. I mean, we might be in for a hell of a season, guys. Look, score predictions. Lineup predictions was easy. That was really quick. Score predictions. We'll go to Steve first.
I'm going to go 4-0. Aggressive 4-0.
Yeah, you stole what I said it could be.
I just think that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like that Norwich game.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. 4-0 for me.
All right.
Easy
great.
win. Comfortable at the back. Van Dijk, not a beat of sweat. That's what I'm thinking.
It's remarkable that Van Dijk is an absolute unit.
Not a beat of sweat on that man for 100 minutes straight.
Dude, it's crazy. He conserves his energy just long enough, and then all of a sudden he'll sprint, top speed, fastest player in the world, and make a play. It's just remarkable. Craig.
Mm-hmm.
I have this weird habit when we're away from home and I'm doing score predictions of guilting myself into giving the home team a goal. So I'm going to go 3-1 because I just feel like I owe it to the home team to give them a goal on the opening day of the season, whether they'll have any chances or not. I always do this, so 3-1.
I honestly think you cover the superstition aspect of it if you give them a goal, because you're like, oh, I didn't predict it was going to be 4-0, and then they started scoring goals. You at least give them some credit. You know what I mean? So it should be a win, though. I'm gonna go 3-0. 3-0 away from home. Salah gets 2. Matip gets a header. Give me a Matip header, bro.
We're due for one of those.
Diaz needs a goal. He didn't get one in preseason.
Yeah, I know. He goes in spurts, like kind of like Fabinho had, where Fabinho scored like 5 goals in like 5 games. Matip will just score headers for like 3 games straight and just bang them in. You know?
Can you imagine being a right-sided defensive player having Robertson and Diaz to deal with?
No.
It'd be
You're in
petrifying.
for a hard day.
Yeah,
Who's playing right back for them?
it's a great question. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think it matters either way.
No. We probably should know, but it's all good. Craig, do you know?
No.
Nope.
I'm looking at it here.
Dude.
Mbabu.
Oh, from Wolfsburg?
Mm-hmm.
That guy? Oh, okay.
He's the right back, isn't he? The new right back.
You got me, dude. I don't know. I really don't think it'll matter at the end of the day.
Well, if anyone can do it, it's not him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Dude, I just want to I need to see Matip back to making his adventurous runs forward because he wasn't doing it against City, and it was because of Adrian. Once Allison's back in goal, Klopp's going to be like, go ahead, Matip. Go ahead. Have at it. Rush the box, pass it out wide, do what you want to do. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this match. I know it's early for us over here in the States, but it's a noon kickoff for everyone over there. I always have respect for Fulham, guys. I mean, like, I kind of have a soft spot for Fulham. Not saying I like Fulham, but just like, I don't know. I just think that they're a respectable club. They produce talent. They're able to attract talent, London-based. You got to at least respect them. I don't think it's like going up against a Norwich or anything, or a Bournemouth necessarily. Like, I just think it's a bigger deal. So I think the boys should go in there with the mindset that this is just like any other match that we need 3 points. Don't get complacent, and don't do basically what we did against Brentford away last season. That's all. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see a 3-3. That's my biggest fear.
I felt so guilty for that game, by the way, because the one game of the season I didn't do the watch along of. I got cover for because I was over at the Anthony Joshua fight in London, and I felt so bad when we didn't win.
So it's your fault, basically.
Pretty much.
Unreal.
I think about that match at least a couple days a week.
You can't do that to yourself, dude. Why?
That was
why
so
do you,
painful.
Why do you torture yourself like that?
It's not by choice.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Look, also, another question. I completely forgot when we were doing the predictions. We get 5 substitutes this season. We get 5 substitutes. Who are the substitutes in tomorrow's match? We'll start with Steve. Steve, who's getting subbed on?
Nunez. Elliot, Carvalho. Milner.
Millie.
Keita. If he was ill, but I think he's back. So if they're going to use 5, though, that's my guess for 5.
Okay.
I mean, that's 4 midfielders, so I don't know how that would work. But I feel like
if you're
those
into
are
that
the next
sort of
guys
thing.
up in the rotation.
James Milner could probably play striker. I mean, just put him up there. I don't care. He can play anywhere he wants. Yeah.
He'd get you 10 plus goals if you played him as striker the whole year. 100%. Guaranteed.
Craig, what
I
about
mean
you?
it. I'm being dead serious.
I know you are. I know he'd probably get the Golden Glove or whatever the goalkeeper's award is if you put him in goal too.
He can shoot. He's accurate. He just doesn't get the opportunities.
Yeah. Who's getting subbed, Craig?
I'm going to be genuinely surprised if we see Jurgen Klopp use his full complement of substitutes as many times as we expect this season, because sometimes he didn't even use his 3. And I know that he was at the forefront of complaining about rotation and wanting more breaks for players. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say we see 3 substitutes, maybe 4. And I think Nunez obviously is a gimme. Jordan Henderson for Elliot, most likely. Potentially Thiago for Keita if he's fit, or Milner. After that, I'm struggling because you won't see a centre-back brought off.
No.
Yeah, I don't know after that. I'm genuinely starting to struggle about who we could bring on. It depends on how the game is going as well.
That's true. Yeah, it very much depends on how the game's going. I remember maybe once or twice where he didn't use all 3 subs. Maybe I'm just a poor historian, but you're right. He was at the forefront of making sure like the games are all close together. And of course, the few first games of the season, we have like a week gap in between. So you're right. Maybe he doesn't need to use all the subs, but maybe he still wants to get some guys fit. And so we might see Carvalho and Elliott make those appearances. But if I had to take 2 out who didn't get to play, probably Elliott and Carvalho, probably looking at Nunez, Keita. Oh God, Milner.
I think you could always see the random Gomez substitute as well.
Who's he coming on for though?
I can only think Trent maybe.
Trent.
Yeah.
You'd put
Trent.
Trent was subbed off in the community.
Not that I want it to happen, but we've seen it.
Well,
If
yeah,
this
yeah,
is a
I
comfortable
know we've
victory,
seen it.
you let Gomez
Right.
get 20 minutes. That's big.
Oh God, yeah, that is big. Honestly, I need him to get more playing time this season. You know, I kind of
It's
feel
going to have
bad
to be
for
at
him.
right back.
Yeah, yeah. At least he's versatile and he can play right back. But yeah, guys, look, Fulham, Liverpool. I'm excited to get the match underway. Honestly, it just sucks that it's so early. I hate getting up early, but hey, sacrifices you make for Liverpool, right? Guys, you have any closing thoughts? Steve, I'll come to you first. Hit me.
I'm just excited. I'm ready to get going. Craig, thanks so much for jumping on, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, and we're winning the league. Let me just say that first and foremost, straight out there. I feel like we're gonna take a lead over City like the year that we won it, and we'll win it by 4 or 5 points. That's my prediction.
I like that.
I'm all for it.
I like that prediction. I'm also just going to put this out there. Spurs are going to finish in the top 4. Spurs are going to surprise a lot of people. But I think Liverpool are going to be an absolute problem this season. In every competition again. We might play 70 games this year. You never know. I'm just going to pull games out of thin air. We're going to play 70 games this season.
Okay. Right. I don't know if you can, but we'll figure out a way.
We'll figure out a way. We got 5 subs. We can do what we want. All right, guys. Appreciate everyone, especially Craig. Thanks for jumping on. It's been a while. Have to have you on a little bit more. Steve, as always, your contributions are much appreciated, my friend. And guys, be on the lookout for the watch along coming Saturday. Hope you enjoy the match preview. Leave your thoughts and predictions, lineup predictions, score predictions down in the comment section below. And don't forget, if you like the stream, give it a thumbs up, guys. All right. Until next time, Reds, take care.